mindset and continuous learning. The importance of an entrepreneurial mindset, continuous learning, and staying adaptable in a fast-changing business environment. One of the reasons why this topic is particularly important as far as I'm concerned is the fact that many entrepreneurs didn't start as an entrepreneur. Many started as employees. And what I've often noticed is a situation where we bring into business the mindset that we had as an employee. Now, there are two different mindsets. The mindset of an employee is not the same mindset of an entrepreneur. It's a totally different way to think. It's a totally different way to reason. For example, as an entrepreneur, you have to be selfless, right? In other words, you have to think of the people who work for you. At some point, you may need to employ people who will earn more than you are earning because you need the skill set they're bringing. Now, as an employee, you can never have such. Your mindset I've never seen an employee that said he's happy. Somebody coming to his department, okay, working under him or her, and then he's earning more. It will never happen. In fact, it's enough grounds for the person to resign. They say, why did you resign? They don't appreciate me. They do not, they do not appreciate my contribution, right? They bring new people and they even pay them more than they are paying me, right? So when you decide to say, I want to be a business owner, your mindset has to change. If I tell people, I said, before you resign that company, change your mindset. Start seeing yourself as an entrepreneur. If for some people, for example, you say, I will leave this company the next 2 years or next 5 years to start my business. Why not spend the next 2 years or 5 years to start thinking like an entrepreneur? E.g., tell them, don't pay me salary, pay me a commission on what I bring in. Because that's what entrepreneurship is all about. Now, I want everybody to write this down, and you can type it for me quickly. This is a powerful thing you must never forget. Employees are paid per hour, entrepreneurs are paid for results. I want everybody to type down. Powerful. Employees are what? They are paid per hour. They are paid for the time they put into the business. Entrepreneurs are paid for result. You see the difference, right? So if you don't carry a result-oriented mentality, okay, that I should be paid for result gotten, not being paid for my time, right? As an entrepreneur, it's the end of the month. Please pay me. Whether we make money or we didn't make money, I need to be paid. But guess what? As an entrepreneur, it's not the time you are paid for. It's the result you generate. For solving problems, that's only when you're paid. Something has happened, that's when you're paid. And like I said, I'm taking this topic because many already now run their business, but guess what? They still carry the mindset of what? An employee. Even though they now run their business, they're CEOs, but they are still carrying the mindset of an employee. Another mindset, right? An employee, right, is waiting for his or her boss to take the lead. An entrepreneur takes the lead and is waiting for what? For those following him, whether they will follow or not, it's their business, but he takes the lead. Come on, are we learning here? So, and I've always had some of these conversations with some of our CEOs. I said, look, you are now a CEO. It's a whole different mindset, right? When you were not in charge of this business, you can be waiting for who will take the first step, right? That's okay. But now that you are the main person in charge, you must be seen at the front. I hope this makes sense at all. You must be seen ahead. For the years I was a CEO, I remember I'm more oftentimes the first or second person at work. I used to live in Songwater. My office was in Ikeja, right? At some point, our office was in Ogba. I would drive down. I wake up 5 a.m. Guys, I own the company. Wake up 5 a.m. we resume 8, 7, I'm in the office. Right? Not that I need to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, if I walk in by 10 p.m., nobody's going to flog me. But if I have an entrepreneur mindset, I must understand that if I don't take that kind of leadership, right, of being seen to be at the forefront, being seen to be ahead, being seen, right, to be in charge, to taking the lead, then I am demoralizing those who are working with me unconsciously. Are we learning, guys? If you're learning type, I'm learning. So unconsciously, I'm demoralizing them. If I give excuses, I'm demoralizing them. If they can't see me be there, boom, let's do this. I have already taken the move. Because these are the things that then help many of those who work with me to say, hey, see our boss. You know, he doesn't need to do this, but we can see how he's at the forefront, he's taking the lead, he's, you know, sacrificing more. If at some point it became a culture, most people didn't know for many years in our company, I did not earn salary. Okay. I was only feeding on the coaching I do. And that's why people don't know I take my coaching seriously, right? Because for many years, I was too concerned, you know, that taking salary from this growing business, I will learn here. This is an entrepreneurship mindset, too. That if I take salary from this business that is still growing, right, we'll have nothing left. So I focus more on what I was earning from coaching, from books, from speaking at conferences, and that was a major source of taking care of myself and my family, just because I didn't want to be a burden to the business. So typically, nobody even remembers. At some point, they got used to it that we don't need to pay our chairman or our CEO then, right? But now, I am demanding now. The company can afford to pay me well now. So, but these are very important mindset that you must have as a business owner. Do not bring an employee mindset to your business, right? If you do that, the business will not thrive. Come on, have we learned something good today? Okay, have we learned something good today? Okay, good. So let's go. Number one mindset, number two mindset. So I've talked about the first mindset. There's a difference between an employee mindset and a business owner mindset. The next mindset you can call number two is the resilience and adaptability mindset. As an entrepreneur, you must hang in there. You must hang in there. Everybody type hang in there. You must hang in there. I'll tell you a story at this point. I remember I just opened my office in Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria. And true story, in those days, remember, I didn't have enough capital when I started business. And even till today, we rely heavily on when we sell to spend. And so this day, I was able to get 200 Naira, 200 Nigerian Naira then. This was 2012. 200 Nigerian Naira, this is 12 years ago. 200 Nigerian Naira was we call it Molue in Nigeria. Molue is this long truck that the poorest of Nigerians take as a transportation, means. And I got the one to get in, right? But I didn't get the one to return. Because by the time we couldn't sell that day, I was targeting, we'll make a sale, then I'll be able to now pay my transportation back home. So there was no 200 Naira for my transportation back home. Guys, I slept in my own office. And guess what happened? I woke up the next morning, my body was swollen. You know, sometimes I laugh when I talk to those who work with us. There's nothing I'm asking you to do I've not done. I'm not a selfish leader. What I asked you to do, I've done it. Right? Woke up the next morning, my body was swollen because apparently the mosquitoes in my office, right, were those that can carry human beings away. Right? Heavy, heavy ones. And, extremely. But guys, imagine I had given up. Come on, talk to me. Can you imagine Stephen Akitayo giving up and saying, you know what, things ain't working. It's quite difficult to be an entrepreneur. Imagine I decided to quit in those days of challenges rather. So as an entrepreneur, you must be resilient. You must hang in there. Everybody type, hang in there. Come on, everybody type, hang in there. You must hang in there. It might be difficult, it might be tough, but hang in there. You must be flexible. Adaptability is very critical. You must be someone who can adapt, right? Adjust to changes. The business landscape constantly change. Entrepreneurs must be flexible. Imagine 2014, guys. 2014. I'll never forget. By January 2015, I was like a household name in our business, digital marketing and bulk SMS business. Everybody knew me in Nigeria. From politicians to big multinationals were using our SMS platform, right, to send bulk SMS for whatever they were doing, to market what they were doing, right? But guys, you will not believe this. True story, right? I had to make sure I asked myself, after we became the biggest company, everybody was patronizing us. I said, what is the future of this bulk SMS and digital marketing business? What's the future? And I convinced myself that the future was not great. Are we listening, guys? We're talking about adaptability. 2015, the year we should have relaxed and say, yes, we are now the biggest. Yes, we are now doing well. That was the year we started real estate development. I've posted that picture on social media before, where the first day I took our staff who were active, involved in our bulk SMS, digital marketing, and knew we were doing well, to the land we wanted to start selling. You could see it in their faces that they were like, my boss is crazy. Something's wrong with him. Somebody please go and check my boss' mental health. Right? We're doing so well in this business. Why under earth will this man ask us to start selling waterlogged land? Why? Why will you go into real estate? Why? But guys, I think by 2016, who remembers, the Nigerian government announced what we call the do not disturb. The do not disturb means that if you send SMS, bulk SMS to people, they will not get it once they have activated the code. And what they even now did was to activate the do not disturb for most people automatically, right? So some people, you will be the one to remove the do not disturb. And before you know it, SMS was not delivering anymore. In fact, that year, 2015, I think we lost almost 10 million SMSs that we sent. The company that we're working with, they charged us, but the SMS did not deliver. And they were telling me that when I called and said, where is your government? Your government have stopped allowing the SMS to deliver on people's phone. Cut the long story short, that's the end of the bulk SMS business, guys. That was the end. If I wasn't, can you imagine I didn't do real estate development? Imagine I did not go into real estate development the same year that we're doing so well. And this is where many people miss it. Think because your company is doing well today, there is no need to diversify. There's no need to begin to think of the future, right? You think because you are now the biggest name, the same thing I'm doing now. Some people think I'm crazy with our expansion in the US. Like some people think this guy is crazy. Why US? Why can't he just settle down in Nigeria? Right? Everybody knows him. Odogo of real estate. Right? Odogo of real estate. He's doing well. Yari, 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 yari. In fact, somebody was telling someone that told me, he said, your guy thinks US is Nigeria, B. He thinks US is Nigeria. I don't even know what's wrong with that guy. Over ambition. Yeah. But guess what? Okay, give it 5 to 10 years. Come on, give it 5 to 10 years. You will see what will happen. I got a message from someone today. Let me see if my phone is there. Let me read it for you guys. So that we should learn. And we must, and I hope many of us will learn from this. Right? We'll learn from this because many times we are, because of our inability to be flexible, to adapt, okay, to have foresight. I call it foresight. We have lost great opportunities. How many of you agree with me? We've lost great opportunities. So listen to this. This was somebody who sent me this. She's from Cameroon, but she lives in the US. Right? She says, "Good morning, sir. Thank you for the invite." She's probably in this training now. So I wish I listened and invested with you 10 years ago. Hear this, 10 years ago. I said, "Hey, yeah, so why haven't you?" Hear this. It says, "You remember when you came to Silver Spring, Maryland, and you gave us opportunity to partner with you. One Nigerian discouraged me that he's a Nigerian like you, and I shouldn't do it. The 10,000 I should have multiplied by now." Did you hear that? So I used to hold a training in the US, right, in those days. And a Nigerian, she was, so in those days I attract Ghanaians, Cameroonians, different people, right? And Nigerians too. In the class, it was the Nigerian that told her, say, "Don't, this one, now Nigerian like me now. Nigerians are 419." He just wants to scam you, right? He just wants to scam you. Don't listen to him. And 10 years later, you can see us sending the message, right? To say, "I missed that opportunity." May that not be your story. As an entrepreneur, you must be flexible. People will try to discourage you when you are trying to expand and diversify. Okay, when you are looking for new level, they will tell you don't need to do that. They will tell you are good enough. Don't listen to them. Number 3, vision and innovation. If you are going to go far, you must be a leader of vision. Great entrepreneurs have always been people who saw tomorrow, right? They've always been people who saw tomorrow. And that's why, listen to me, everyone. If you really are a man of vision and innovation and you're an entrepreneur, you will be called a scammer. Write it down. If they don't call you a scammer, then you are not a man and a woman of vision and innovation. Right? I'm talking of as an entrepreneur now. I'm not talking of as an employee. As an entrepreneur, they will call you that. You know why? Because your dreams will not be about today. It will be about tomorrow. Your ideas will not be about today. It will be about tomorrow. I'll ask you a question. How many of you heard that the Wright brothers were called scammers by the engineering society of their days? If you're a wet type, I'm aware. If you're not a wet type, I'm not aware. The Wright brothers, these were the guys who invented, flying object. They brought the innovation that made plane to fly. Because the scientists of those days finally agreed that, okay, metal cannot fly. It was a concluded decision. And so the Wright brothers said their own metal will fly. And many scientists attacked them and said, these guys are about to scam investors. Anybody who invests in these people's idea, you want to be scammed. Because we have all concluded as scientists that metal cannot fly. Are we learning here? The same thing happened to Elon Musk. Elon Musk came out and said he will do electric car. Not only will he do electric car, he will do self-driving cars. How many of you remember that big companies said it was not possible? I watch big companies like Toyota, Nissan, some of the leaders convince the world and say, you see, the issue is not electrical. The issue is the battery cannot last long. I don't know who remembers those conversations in the media. All right. Even when he talked about the what self-driving car, who remember that was also another issue. Oh, there's no way to do a self-driving car and there won't be accident on the road. You can't have a self-driving car and it won't lead to crisis. Who remembers? Right? These were issues that kept going on, going on. Now, people were telling other people, don't listen to Elon Musk. If you put your money into Elon Musk's business, he will scam you. Because I hope you know that it was investors' money he used to build Tesla. And as at the time he was getting funding, he had not built Tesla. Now, this one, I watched the video where a reporter in CNN, this was in the 90s. How many of you know Jack Ma? If you know Jack Ma, type Jack Ma, Jack Ma, Jack Ma. If you don't know him, type I don't know him. Jack Ma. How many of you know Jack Ma? If you know Jack Ma, type Jack Ma. If you don't know him, type I don't know him. Jack Ma founded Alibaba. But at least you know Alibaba. Alibaba is the largest e-commerce company in the world, right? Of course, I think Amazon is more known, but Alibaba does more transaction from look of it because China market alone, you and I know, is US times 5 combined, right? Now, I watched this interview in the 90s where a reporter from CNN said to Jack Ma, the investors believe that you guys .com bubble is a scam and that you guys are just scamming people and you are just, none of these things will work. In fact, the reporter asked him, Jack Ma, have you guys made any profit? He said no. Why should anybody invest with you? You have been running this business for years now, no profit, and you're still calling for more investors. People believe you're a scammer. I watch him being confronted like that. Now, international television, guys, can you believe that? What will you have done? What will you have done? Some of us, just one client calls you a name, you're already angry. Some of you have given up on your innovation because somebody said it won't work. Let me say this, and I want you to all to write this down. Everybody has the right to give up on your dream, but you dare not give up on your dream. Let me say it again. Everybody else has the right to give up on your dream, but you dare not give up on your dream. As an entrepreneur, I dare you. You must not give up on your dream, right? They have the right. It could be your brother, it could be your cousin, it could be your spouse, it could be, I don't care how close they are to you, they have the right to doubt your dream. They have the right. It could be your employee. They have the right. But you dare not give up on yourself. You dare not doubt yourself. Are we learning, guys? Come on. Everybody type, I will not doubt myself. I will not give up on me. Because you can't give up on you. Everybody else can be giving up. That's their opinion. They're entitled to it. But not you. Not you, guys. Not you. You have to do everything possible to come up with an idea nobody has come up with and be willing to be called names. You have to be willing to come up with concepts that nobody else has come up with and be willing to call names. Be willing for people to mock you. If people are mocking Dangote, come on, what's your own? Talk to me. How many of you heard Dangote said, my colleagues, my friends are laughing at me because they told me the refinery will not work. Come on, how many of you heard that? How many of you heard Dangote saying recently that his colleagues were laughing at him because they've already told him before he started the refinery that the refinery wasn't going to work? And now that he's having issues with the regulators, they are laughing at him. So if people will laugh at Dangote, the richest black man in the world, why do you think they don't have the right to laugh at you? With all the successes Dangote has had, with all the innovation he's brought into the industry, people still laugh at him. And then you are bothered about who laughed at you. Come on. How many of you are seeing your business from a different perspective now? Come on, talk to me. How many of you are going to go back to your business with, I call it holy anger? I say, I don't care who is laughing. I don't care who doesn't believe my dream. We're doing this. We're turning things around. We're building an empire, right? We are building an empire. For me, that's been what has helped me. Keep laughing, keep mocking, keep joking. But very soon, you will see me. My result will terminate the insult. Come on, how many of you agree with me? My popular quote is, let your result slap them. Let your result do your revenge. The best revenge is result. Result terminates insult. And let the result revenge. Come on, everybody type my result. We get me my revenge. Everybody type in my result. We get me my revenge. So be innovative. Be visionary. Right? And if you're innovative and visionary, the consequence of that is that people will doubt you. People will mock you. People will doubt you and they will argue and they will call you name. Number 4 or 5, take risk and make decision fast. You cannot be a great entrepreneur if you don't take risk and make fast a decision. There are opportunities that I look back now, I say, if I didn't take quick decision, we will have lost that deal. Right? I've taken decision where everybody around me felt, come on, doctor, are you kidding me? Are you sure? Right? Are you sure, doctor? But I took that decision anyway. And it's been one of the best decisions of my life. I am a risk taker, guys. I've risked it all. You can't be a great entrepreneur if you don't take risk. You have to take risk, guys. You must build the capacity to take risk. There is nothing there for not taking risk. Nothing in it. I'll share the story. I listened to it at the Grant Cardon's conference called 10X. And this man was saying that he had a friend. This friend has been running his business for almost 30 years. True story. And finally sold the business. And his own share was $2 billion. Everybody type $2 billion. Come on, everybody type it, $2 billion. And then he said the first couple of months, moved to Bahamas, bought a big mansion, was doing vacation, did a lot of party. But guys, 6 months down the line, after $2 billion, the guy became depressed. Can you believe that? $2 billion and depressed. Eh? I'm sure many of you will type, I can never be depressed with $2 billion. Come on, let me hear. Let me check what some of you will write. How many of you think you can still be depressed with $2 billion? Let me see your feedback. Covenant Harry says, please try me with $2 billion. Okay, so I should try you to see whether you'll be depressed or not. Okay, if you don't control those kind of money, you always think that it will never happen. That when you have such money, you can never be depressed. I tell you, this guy got depressed. And when he was being asked, why were you depressed? He said the lack of purpose was what made him to be depressed. And he had to go back and start a new company. He realized that what had kept him all these 30 years was the grinding. Are we learning here? Was the waking up. Let's go. We're trying to get results. We're trying to push this. We're trying to increase our sales. All that work gave him a sense of purpose. And then as soon as, the company was taken over because the company was bought, he was paid off, and he was to leave the company. That sense of purpose was no longer there. So imagine waking up in the morning, you have everything you need. You don't have problem. Many of you don't know that having problem is a testimony that you even have problem. I remember my pastor always say that the fact that you know that you have a problem is something to give God thanks for, because it's a fact, is a proof that you are mentally sane. People who are mentally sane are the only ones who can know they have problem. I don't know if you agree with me. Being aware that you have problem is something to give thanks for, because it takes mental sanity to be aware of your challenges. True or false? Okay? I don't know if you agree with me. It takes what? Mental sanity to be aware that you even have problem. So even the sense of we're pushing, we have more things to do is what gives you a sense of purpose. And I can tell you categorically from my experience, I honestly think if I'm in that guy's shoes, I'll also be depressed. I honestly cannot imagine my life, okay, doing nothing, just having all the money in the world, and then waking up, right? There's nobody to shout on. There's no project to do. There's no Katie, there's no Richmond, there's no Ibejileki, there's no I think I'll be depressed. Because the entire vision, chasing after something, is what keeps you and I alive. So as an entrepreneur, you must be conscious of this, that taking risk in itself is part of what gives you a sense of fulfillment. Because that process of I've taken a risk, oh, God help me, God help me, God help me. How many of you, every night, you find yourself saying, God help me, at least 3 times a week? Can I see you indicate? How many of you? I do that at least 3 times a week. And a mentor once told me, he said, Stephen Akitayo, the day you start going to bed not having something to be worried for at least 3 times a week is the day you stop fulfilling purpose. Can I say that again? The day you start going to bed without having something that bothers you, something of concern, a challenge you are trying to solve, right, is a proof that you are no longer fulfilling purpose. Right? So the fact that you go to bed at times and you're like, God, help me. My Father, I need your help. Right? When it's rough, when it's tough, you are finding yourself calling your God. It means you're doing the right thing. It means you're on course. It means you are fulfilling purpose. Are we learning, guys? We are learning type. I'm learning. Right? You must have something you're fighting for. You're pushing. You are pushing every day. You must take risk. How many of you will start taking risk from today? Type, I will take risk. Come on, type, I will take risk. Mr. Rana just showed me a business yesterday in Dubai. He wanted us to invest in it. You know, you know, the company has a debt of how much in dollars? I'm not sure they will know dirhams. What's the total?
Sir, it's a $225 million.
$225 million in debt. And Mr. Rana is saying, you know, we can buy the company. We can turn it around. I said, you can ask her. I said, you know, approved. Considering you get Barry, Izu, and one other person along. Okay, for me, it's a risk, right? Worst case, we lose. We learn and we get to another one. Okay? What he didn't know is that I'm now at a phase I want to start buying into companies. So he brought that at a point where that is really what my next phase, right? My next phase now is to start buying into companies, right? Companies that are having challenges, let's buy them. Let's fix them. Dr. Cosmos just bought a company in Japan, and he made that company profitable in 6 months, right? This is a company going through challenges and all of that. And you see why you should have mentors. All I knew that worst case, I would just go and have a sit-down session with Dr. Cosmos, right? And say, yeah, they said we should buy this company. What do we do? I know my mentor has done it before. This is why you must invest in mentorship, right? Don't ever joke with it. But learn to take risk, guys. You have to take risk. Worst case, you lose, right? And you learn from it. Remember, failure is not the opposite of success. What is failure? Come on. Failure is not the opposite of success. Can somebody type the answer? What is failure? Failure is not the opposite of success. Somebody say failure is feedback. True, but that's not the answer I'm looking for. Failure is not the opposite of success. Someone say failure is success turned inside out. Oh, I love that. That's not what I'm looking for. Failure is the absence of risk. I like that. You guys are giving me good answers. Failure is on the path of success. Thank you. Failure is on the path of success. So you should be thinking of failing quick, failing fast. That should be the conversation, right? How do I fail quickly and I move on? And then how do I fail in a small scale so that I don't fail in a big scale, right? Which is why you should start the business small. You see, Dr. Cosmos sharing that with you yesterday. Starting small, fail small. It's better to fail at a smaller scale than to fail big time, right? Failure is on the path to success. It's not the opposite. It's on the path. It's normal. It's guaranteed. On your way to success, failure must appear. Come on. Right? I always put it this way. On the road to success, there's failure boulevard. On the way to success, there's what? Failure boulevard. So that is the reality here. On the way to success, there's failure boulevard. There will be one or two failures here and there. It's okay. You know, it's one of those things. But you have to keep moving on. You have to keep moving on. And you don't give up. So, because of our time, take decision. Passion and drive. If you're going to be a great leader, great entrepreneur, you must have a strong passion. You must have drive. Remember, those who work with you, they are counting on your energy. In our core value as a company in GTEx, integrity is there, innovation is there, right? Excellence is there. And then the last one is called energy. Every great entrepreneur must have passion and drive. You must be someone that drives people. Okay? Now, there is a litmus test of whether you're a staff of GTEx or not. Can anybody guess the litmus test? Those of you who don't work in GTEx, just guess. There's a litmus test. Someone say energy, that's not it. Ability said, no, that's not it. You will have a dream where I'm asking you, result now, give him now. Now, I need the result now. And then you wake up and realize the dream. I've heard more than 10 staff tell me that they had a dream. I need the result now. Give me the answer now, now. and then they were trying to do it, and then they woke up like, oh, it's a dream. Okay, that's one of the ways you know it's like the Jesus baptism, right? Dreaming about the chairman giving you responsibility. Okay, but how many of you know that that's not spiritual? It's just it's just a subconscious, right? It's not as if there's some spiritual thing to it. Okay, it's just the fact that there's a drive, there's a passion that Steve Akita brings to bear, and it's just there in your subconscious. Okay, Mr. Paris said that's when the chairman is managing you. Right? And I agree with you. That I always tell my team there are two ways: I can manage you or I can lead you. If you allow me manage you, you would dream about me managing you. Okay? But a great entrepreneur must have what? You must have drive. You must have passion, right? It's always important to have that if you will, build a great empire. But we're talking about entrepreneurship mindset. That's the cause of this training. Focus on the customer and feedback. You must learn to focus on your customer. You must learn to get feedback from your customer. You must prioritize the interests of the customer, right? Importance of continuous learning. Number one, self-education. Don't tell me you're a CEO and you don't go for seminar, you don't go for training. Say, I'm a CEO. There's nothing they need to teach me. That's not acceptable. Okay? Not acceptable. Self-education, networking, and mentorship. You must constantly network. You must constantly get mentorship. Constantly. There must be networking and mentorship. Constantly. It's not something that you stop. You keep doing again and again. Staying updated. Okay? Staying updated. There's some of you, you say you're a business owner, and then your information is 20 years ago, right? You are not asking questions. AI has taken over. How do we become AI compliant? Right? Some of us are, you remember Y2K compliant. Some of us are still way back there instead of being AI compliant. So stay updated. Keep learning, keep getting feedback, reflect on your processes, improve the process, creating a learning culture in the organization. Everybody must learn, right? Everybody must be trained. We just got 2 of our staff to do their masters in Lagos Business School. I don't know if you think that's good. 2 of our leadership, right? Because it's not just you, the owner, that should be improving. Your people must improve. Your company is as good as the quality of people in the system, right? Adapting to change, right? Even if others do not come for this conference, our own staff alone are enough. This is an opportunity for them to learn as well, right? And be better people. So as you see change, be willing to adapt to it, be willing to change, driving innovation, enhancing leadership skill. Tell everybody in the system, you're a leader. I want to see leadership from everyone, right? As a business owner, these are very important. So while we wrap up, let's look at this very important entrepreneurship mindset. We have 6 to go quickly. Number 1, growth mindset. Everybody say growth mindset. Great entrepreneurs must have a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset. You can just go, I'll give you this assignment because of time. Go and Google fixed mindset and growth mindset so that you understand the difference. Number 2, vision and resilience. Vision and resilience, right? For you to have an entrepreneurship mindset, you must be a person of vision and resilience. Number 3, risk-taking and innovation. These are things we've discussed today. Number 4, adaptability and flexibility. Number 5, continuous learning. Number 6, networking and collaboration. Somebody says, poor people go to work, rich people build network. Poor people go to work, rich people build network. Rich people are constantly seeking opportunity to build relationship, build mentorship, build connection, build collaboration, build partnerships, right? Constantly seeking the opportunity to do that. Mindset you need to bring to the table, guys. How many of you have gotten so much value, guys? Gotten so much value, type value, 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 value. Come on, talk to me. So I'll look at few companies and then we wrap up for the day. I know I have a few minutes left if my time is even up. But let me just take 5-10 minutes and I wrap up. Case study number 1, Netflix. Netflix is a product of innovation. Who remembers when we used to go and rent movies? Anybody remember? I don't remember how I used to go and rent movies, the latest movie, right? Can we see now that we are not doing that anymore because Netflix solved that problem? The rental is on Netflix and there's no need anymore. Innovation, adaptability, and you can see everything I've taught you today in the Netflix story. Look at Tesla, case study number 2, right? How many of you still see, imagine Tesla has saturated Nigeria. Are we going to be having all this argument over Dangote refinery or not? You see how backward we are? Eh? If Tesla has saturated Nigeria, do you agree with me? This argument over petrol, subsidy, come on, talk to me, guys. You know, we won't be here. Okay? And that's really what it's all about. Innovation, risk taking. Elon Musk has taken risks many times. He has almost crashed many times. Right? So that's the end of my training.
The question is, it takes a lion heart to handle big things like you do. How did you build the courage to even think that big in third world country like Africa? So this is the first question, sir.
Very good question by Mr. Charles. Good question. I think honestly, looking at it, I think books helped me. I started reading early. Like I said, I started reading early. At the age of 17, 18, I read my first book, right? Rich Dad Poor Dad. And some of the books I started reading talked about the authors were already millionaires, right? Multi-millionaires in dollars. And those books, expanded my mind. I think there's a statement that says that the mind, once you stretch it, can never go back, right? Once you stretch the mind. So it was very helpful. Number 2 was also my spiritual mentor. I believe most of you know my pastor, Bishop David Oyedepo, who, I was in my, I was about, I joined his ministry as well as a young teenager. I was 18, I think, or so when I joined the ministry. And so, as 18-year-old, 19-year-old, you go to Canaan land, right? You see him. And you know what's funny? I was part of those who went to Canaan land when they've not had the road, right? And you could see how it evolved. There was no Covenant University. When we come for events, then we're trying to, sleep under canopy. I mean, you could see the evolvement. And I think that helped because when you join a mentor, and that's why I tell people, right? The mistake many of us made and are still making is thinking that the person we must use as a mentor must be someone who is already totally accomplished. Why not look for somebody who has gotten where they are going and just join the train with them? Because that even works more. I don't know whether you get my point, because you could see the evolution. You could be able to analyze. My mentor was in this position 5 years ago, right? I can see where he is 5 years later. Can see where he is 10 years later. Can see where he is 20 years later, right? And that gives you hope, right? That gives you hope. People are wondering why I'm buying land. My own mentor bought 10,000 acres. 10,000. 10,000 acres. And even as we speak, costing billions to fence it, and he's not done anything. So you are telling me, oh, why do I take risks doing land banking? Somebody bought 10,000 acres in Zongwater and just fenced it and left it. So having mentors like that, I mean, I have conversation about how he's going to put airports there. So those things just stretch your mind to say, if a pastor can think this big, I am an entrepreneur. It is me that I should be thinking big like this, right? Because I'm the one that need to do business. I'm the one meant to do business, right? So if a religious institution can think this big, I can think big as well. And of course, gradually as I started having bigger mentors, it helps as well. I mean, in America, my mentor Grant Cardone does his company is worth over $5 billion. The real estate asset he controls over $5 billion. So that I'm running a project of $150 million, $200 million. I think it's still a fraction of what my mentor is doing. You agree with me? So the quote here, and I think everybody should write it down. A step of a giant is a marathon for a dwarf. Get a giant in your life and you will start dreaming big. Let me say it again. A step of a giant is a marathon for a dwarf. Get a giant in your life and you will start dreaming big, right? Because with that giant, the kind of things the giant is doing, it's crazy. I mean, some people still think I'm taking risk. One of my mentor is putting in $500 million. I'll not mention his name. In African countries that are not even stable, he's building borehole for water, and they are not even paying him. It's after he does it, he will not be paid. I can still do that now. I'm still scared to even expand to some African countries because I believe sometimes you do business. I saw what some African countries did to Dangote, right? You know, where he starts his company there, and before you know it, they chase him out. So meanwhile, another mentor is putting $500 million. So when I look at the risk my own mentors are taking, I'm encouraged to take my own baby steps.
Sir, there are a couple of more questions. Time allows us. Have you taken risk that resulted in a fatal end? And if yes, how did you come out of it? This is another question.
Well, I'm always taking risk, and virtually, I'm not sure I can remember which of my risk did not come with with some failure. Like I said to you, failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is on the pathway to success. The only difference is I'm not sitting down and crying over failure, and then looking for a pity party, which is what some people do. You now want to call everybody to say, oh, yeah, start pitying me, start considering me. There's hardly no project I've done that I've not encountered failure. I'll give you an example. One of our estates in Lagos, we had done dot all the T's. The document shows that the king of that land owns the land, from the government document he has with the government. And we paid the king. And as we paid him, we took possession, we started doing defense. One day, my workers were working, old women came naked and started protesting, and then put ritual on site. They all ran away. Everybody ran away. So we just had to solve the problem. Of course, we went to the king to talk to him. We tried to have a meeting with the family as well to say, what do you people really want? And we resolved it. And today, our staff live there. We're building houses on that same site. So failure, again, is on the path to success. It's not like you will fail, you learn, you figure out, you find solution, you move on. But you can't just say, oh, I failed, and that's it. That's not how it works. Okay?
Hi, sir. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. And we appreciate the time. Let's clap it and celebrate Dr. Stephen, Chairman GTEX Holdings. So, Mr. Barry, Mr. Farouk, so do we have our next speaker ready, or do we take some break here? What do you suggest?
Yes, so the next, okay, so the next